One guy, though, that isn't afraid to call you out is Colby Covington. Colby Covington had some very interesting things to say about Ian Garry. Take a listen.
Everybody knows when you're going fishing, it's important to have the right bait. So let me teach you all a lesson about how you bait someone. Ian Garry, you translucent, you wanted my attention? Now you got it. Everybody knows why you want to fight me, Ian. I'm the biggest star in the division. It's big city, bright lights, and the most attention and eyes. But everybody knows, Ian, you missed your chance. You had your chance in December to step on the same stage as me and have a microphone and say whatever you want to say to me. But you were scared. You were scared of what I was gonna say to you, and you got the sniffles, and you cried your way out. If you're scared of words, what do you think it's gonna be like when you step in a steel cage with chaos? Ball's in your court now, boy. I'll have my lawyers draft up the papers. You got 24 hours to respond. We'll see if you're about that life.
Guys, Ian Garry said, you'll do as you're told. You're not America's favorite fighter. What you are is a peak underperformer. I'm going to be the final chapter in your legacy of failure. I'm going to rid the UFC of Colby Covington for good, and I'm going to make America great again. Chael, this is good because anytime you have a heel and a good guy, you start to build the story. When you start bringing in the loser leaves town match as the stipulation, that's always good. So it's like it draws me in. One, I'm not sure the world's ready to make Ian Garry the good guy, but I think with chaos, people are like, yo, I want to see this dude get feet held to the fire. How good of a heel is Colby Covington? Because I've seen some great ones like Jake the Snake Roberts. When he slapped Miss Elizabeth, you want to hate him so bad. It seems like Colby is doing that. He's okay with being hated. So does that make a great heel, Chael?
Well, and Daniel, how interesting, because what a difference a day makes. Ian Garry was one of the biggest heel. Ian Garry was going through the booze. He was going through the conversations of the most hated. And all of a sudden, Colby comes in and goes a little bit lower than Ian Garry. I mean, all of a sudden, Ian's looking pretty good. And by the way, partner, the timeline here really is fascinating. For any of our newer viewers, perhaps they don't know, Ian Garry fought more recently than Colby. Ian Garry had a big win over Jeff Neal. He took the microphone with Joe Rogan, and he called out Colby. The reason that's interesting is Colby right there acted as though he had never heard it, acted as though that was the call out, that he's waiting for Garry to respond, as opposed to what really happened, which was that was his response. And sure enough, it worked. By Garry's response, anybody that doesn't know the timeline I just laid out is going to think that Garry's dancing to Colby's tune. I love it. I don't think you can take it back. I think the UFC has something here. I predict they're going to go with it.
You know, when you get a bad guy, right, the bad guy can't be the heel that wants to be liked. He has to be okay with the booze. He has to be okay with everybody disliking him. And he's got to be able to smile, walk into the bank while everybody's booing and hating. Colby Covington has embraced that. You know, I spoke the other day, Chael, sorry, I just spoke about Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts was such a horrible heel that when the Macho Man got married to Miss Elizabeth, he put a snake in the cake. People hated him. When everybody loved Miss Elizabeth, Jake the Snake slapped her to the point that her parents didn't want to let the Macho Man go to dinner at their house. Colby Covington seems like the guy that would go to Ian Garry's wife and to try and say something to her. I don't believe he'd put his hands on her, obviously, but I'm saying he would say something. And by going at that, right, it seems to be a low-hanging fruit. Seems like everybody wants to go at Ian Garry's situation with his wife. Colby just digs there, and he digs there, and he digs there. And everybody is taking this kid, Ian Garry, who fumbled so many times that people completely flipped on him. And now they're going, man, if I got to choose between these two evils, Ian Garry's the lesser of two evils. And the whole time, Colby's laying at home just smiling because he's a heel. And Chael, he's one of those 1980s, 1990s heels. The ones that when they walked out, the crowd just went crazy and they would throw stuff in the ring. It's amazing to me. I love it. I think it's perfect. And it really does help to build intrigue in a fight that honestly I didn't really know if I wanted to see until now.
So, next fight for Dustin Poirier, because he's still there. He's still in the mix. He's ranked.
You know what it is.
Oh,
you know what it is.
Whoa. Don't steal my fucking
I'm not. You already know. You already know.
We know. Well, I don't know. I just want to make that 100% clear. This is not me as a Michael Bisping ambassador saying this. I'm just saying it all lines up perfectly. Dustin Poirier, the Diamond, versus Islam Makhachev. I think with that performance, he leapfrogs everybody. Because we always say, let's see how these things, Dana says it all the time. Let's see how everything plays out. And a fight like that will cause you to leapfrog because the public demand, number one, he deserves it. He's been around forever. Mm-hmm. He's a former interim champion. He's not getting any younger. He's always craved being champion of the world. And I think taking on that opponent, beating him the way that he did, given the fact that Charles Oliveira and Sarukian, they're not fighting to the end of April. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a bit of a turnaround.
Gaethje's fighting Holloway, same time.
Gaethje's fighting Max Holloway.
That's the one thing that throws me off.
Gaethje?
Is Gaethje. Gaethje getting skipped.
Forget it. Forget about Gaethje. He took on a guy at 145 pounds. I'm sorry. Forget it. It's got nothing to do with him saying that I'm a biased commentator. I actually do mean that. It's got nothing to do with that. I'm just saying timing-wise, timing's everything. He just got that massive fight there. They could probably do it in June. I think, who said that? I saw it. Oh, no. It was Dustin today on Twitter.
Yeah.
He said me versus Islam.
And that's June. When Islam wants to fight is in June.
Yeah, Ali Abdelaziz actually came out and said if Dustin is open to it after that performance, Islam would fight him in June if UFC's okay with it.
Wow.
That's it.
What a story.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
unbelievable. Crazy. And don't get me wrong, if Gaethje, because Gaethje is there. Of course he is. He just knocked out Dustin.
But Dustin didn't have a bad performance either, though. Like if you go back and watch the fight, it was a great fight, and he got clipped, and Justin Gaethje landed a great shot, and Dustin went out.
There'll still be a belt to fight for Justin Gaethje, regardless of whoever wins. There'll still be a belt to fight for the winner of Oliveira and Sarukian. Do you know what I mean? They're just getting a shot now. It doesn't mean you're not going to get a title fight. It just means right now he's perennially one of the top five, one of the most exciting fighters in all of the sport. And after that, the man deserves it. Dustin Poirier, come on. Get on the bloody BYN pod. Listen to how we are waxing and shining your shoes, bro. Come on.